Hey, good morning, guys. This is Dana with D&L Recording Studios, LLC, located in Montrose, Virginia. On this specific video, we're going to go over the use of Camtasia as well as Reaper. I'm just going to show you a few quick things. It's real easy to do. Of course, anything is easy if you know how to do it. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is load our media. Now, this particular video was shot last Sunday at the Providence United Methodist Church in Montrose. You simply come down to the plus button, import media. This is the actual file that we're using right here. This was taken with an iPhone. It'll be in a QuickTime movie format, and it's almost 7 gigs. Okay, so this is an extremely large file. So we would simply click on that and hit open. And as you can see, it's going to put it right up here for us, which it's already there. Okay. From there, you simply take it and you would drop it down. I'm not going to do it because we don't need it. But that's how you get it right here on this track. Okay. Now, the first thing I want to point out to you is you can see the waveform right here. This is called a waveform. That's the actual voice, the audio, and you can see the difference here. Okay. And that's the thing about using an iPhone. If you're going to use it, there's some things you just cannot mix and master with any software because the volume levels are just too far apart. Okay, very important. The optimum input level is around a negative 18 dBs when you're recording. So what I've done is I've seen this, and I know that when I come through here, you can just click anywhere and hit play, and it'll show you, or what's going on in the service. So here I know everybody was singing. This is congregational singing. This part right here, there were prayer requests, there were announcements, things of this nature. Now over here, I've added a couple markers, special music, and preaching starts. Now this is real simple to do. You're just going to bring your cursor wherever you want to go to someplace. Now, I know this is the end of the service, so let's just go ahead and listen to it. Okay, so I know that this is going to be the end. So I'm simply going to come down here. You see the little plus sign come up. I'm going to click it. And I'm simply going to come up here, and now I'm going to name this End of Service. Now, once I do that, all I have to do is click off of it, and there it is. Now there's the name. Now, this is important because what we want to do now is we're going to blow up this track right here. We're going to make it bigger so we can really dial in to what we want to do. So this is called the head. This is a tape head. Okay, it's right there. So we're going to come up here and enlarge it. And right there it is. Now you can see the difference in what this is, okay, as far as what it actually shows. So we'll come back over here to where we can find our marker again. I know it's there somewhere. Yeah, we'll just wait up. Yep. And if that happens, guys, just come down here and make it smaller. Okay, so we know that it's right here. So at this point, we're just going to right mouse click it, and we're going to say split all. And I'm going to take this section right here, and I'm simply going to delete it. Okay, now it's gone. So we're going to go back to the front of the file. I'm going to zoom back in on everything again. I'm going to come over here to the special music where it starts. I'm going to zoom it back out. That way we can really dial in on it. And now we're going to hit play. Okay, so I know that is the start of it. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to right mouse click, split all. I'm going to take this section of the track and I'm going to hit the delete, and it'll be gone as well. And I'm going to zoom back in. Now I'm going to run this all the way back to the beginning. Okay, so as you can see now, these markers are no longer needed. So you can just simply right mouse click on them and delete them, depending on what you want to do. Now I'm going to come down to this track. I'm going to right mouse click, and I'm going to choose separate audio and video. Okay. Now at this time, I'm going to come up here to share, and I'm going to export the audio only. And we're going to call this, let's get back up to our desktop. I'm going to go back into that folder. And this is always a good thing to do, guys, when you're going to do this. Just create one folder, and that way all your projects will be in that one folder. And I'm just going to put Providence United Methodist Church. I'm going to hit save. Okay, guys, now we've opened up Reaper, and we're going to come up to Insert Media File. We're going to go back to the folder that we exported the file to, and just simply click on it. PUMC, and there it is. Now we're going to take, and everything I'm going to do here is probably more or less left mouse clicks. I'm just left mouse clicking it. I want to blow this stuff up. I want to see it. Okay. Now I know this is the special music starting here. And at the end here, where you see all this loudness, and that's what that is, this is where the applause was. So let's just go ahead and listen to that. Okay. Now you see the red lights come on here. This means that it's clipping or it's getting ready to clip. Once you go red, you're dead. All right. So we're going to hit the S key. And that's going to split. We're going to come over here to the other side of the applause, and we're going to listen to it. Okay, now this is where the pastor's starting. Okay, so we're going to hit split again. Now, what we're going to do with this track, we're going to take this now, and we want to bring the level of this down. And again, I'm just left mouse clicking. Watch the cursor turn. Double-sided arrow. There it is. So we're going to bring this applause down a little bit. Now, over here on where the pastor is going to start, I'm going to come up here and shorten this track up just a little bit. We simply left mouse click and bring it down. Now we've got two tracks. Okay. This is imperative. You must be able to do this, guys. If you don't take the time to do this, well, you're going to regret it in the end. Okay. So now we're going to come up here and okay, I just want to check and make sure. Now we want to come to the end. Okay, guys, so that's what I did. I've just zeroed in. Now, I use a roller ball, but a regular mouse with a mouse wheel, anything will work. And what I'm doing is I'm turning that wheel back and forth. As you can see, this just lets me zoom right in and zoom right out. So I'm going to hit the S key again, and I'm going to delete this part of the audio. Now, at this point, I'm going to come up to Extensions, and I'm going to click on Loudness. And what we're going to do is we're going to left mouse click the first track, and then hold the control key down, and then the second track. And now we're going to analyze both these tracks. We're looking for the loudness. Okay, and this is going to show us what we need to do. This is going to take a few minutes, and when it's finished, I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so now this process is done. The numbers we're looking for right here are the true peak. Okay, now the softest, which is the negative 26.6, the closer you go to 0, the louder it gets. This is measured in LUFS, which stand for loudness unit full scale. So we know we have a -6, so we're going to render this to around probably a -20. We do not want this true peak to go above 0. We do not want to clip this audio. Okay, so we're going to play it safe, and we're going to say 21. So we're going to come up here and just right mouse click now and say normalize to a -21. And then hit normalize. Now, as you can see right over here, these faders just jumped. Okay, this one added 5.62 dBs, and this one right here reduced it by 3.27 dBs. Okay, now what that's going to do is that is now evened out this audio. Okay, so now we're going to get into a little bit of audio engineering. Okay, now the first thing we're going to do is put on a EQ, which is a high-pass filter. We're going to cut it off around 100 hertz. And what this does, this just simply cleans up any mud that may be in the audio file. Now we're going to go back to our vocalist that did the special music, and we want to put a compressor on her. Okay? I think this is my compressor. No, that is the wrong one. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just going to right mouse click and delete it. I'm going to click up in this square again. And let's see, there we go. So I'm going to put this on as a warm on the vocal. And then I'm going to come back now and I'm going to play this audio so I can watch what my compressor is doing. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you something. I've been doing this a long time. Okay? Compressors are the hardest thing there is when it comes to audio engineering, if you do it incorrectly. Okay? So I'm just going to be silent for a second. And we're going to listen to this as I start working the compressor.
Taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory. Oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe what you say of me. I believe.
Okay, guys. Now, as you can see over here at the applause, what happens is you just immediately started clipping. So we're going to go back and listen to this again, and I'm going to adjust this up here. Okay, so we like that. So let's go ahead and listen to the pastor now.
Well, our scripture today comes from actually two scriptures. One from Acts chapter 9, verses 32 through 43, and then we'll also be reading from 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 8 through 9. So let's hear the word of God. As Peter traveled around the country, he went to visit the Lord's people.
All right, guys, and that's basically it. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put on the audio statistics. This is going to show me what the audio is going to be rendered at. It's the numbers. I'll show you what I'm looking for. We're going to come down to File, Render. No, we're going to name it Providence United Methodist Church - Reaper. Okay. We're going to have it in stereo, waveform, and we're going to add this back to Reaper when we finish it, if we like it. Now, we don't need the tail up here, so we're going to take this off. And we're going to do the master mix, the entire project. Okay? And we hit render one file. Now, this is going to take just a second. And when it's finished, I'll be back. Okay, guys. So the first thing we notice up here is we're at a negative 0.4 on our peaks, which means we did not clip. That is absolutely awesome. Now, if I wanted to make any changes to this audio, I would hit back. And I would not have to change the file name. But since we like it, we're going to hit close. and then I'm going to show you what these numbers mean. And here it is. It's adding it back into Reaper itself. So our noise floor is a negative 100.73. Now, for those of you that may not know, you probably do not, but for audiobooks, it's a requirement. Your noise floor has to be a negative 60 dBs or higher. Remember, a negative 60 is softer than a negative 40. The closer you get to 0, the louder your audio gets. Okay? So down here at our left and right peak levels, we're at a negative 0.37, which we're fine. And our RMS, total loudness, and RMS stands for root mean squared, is another way to check your loudness, is a negative 21.43. Okay? So that's fine. So now we simply come here, and let me get this double clicked on. Let me bring it back to where we can look at the whole file. Now look at the evenness of our file now. That's what we want. Okay? So at this point, we're done with Reaper. We're just going to sit, we don't need to save it. We're going to go back into Camtasia. We're going to come down here and we're going to add that audio that we just did. So once we find it, now I'm simply going to take this audio now and drop it right back down here all the way across. Okay. Now again, I want to show you the difference now between the two sets of audio files. As you can see, this one is much louder. It's more even. Okay, so we don't need this file right now. We're simply going to left mouse click it and hit delete. Now at this point, what I do, guys, is I come up here and I'm going to save this project. We're just going to call it PUMC. Okay. Now, let's go back to the front, and I'm going to show you just a few more things because we're just about done now. Okay? Now, as we play this, and I'm going to watch the singer here, I know that somebody's going to step in over here to the right-hand side. So with this, you come over here to Animations. Okay? And I'm simply going to zoom in on here a little bit. As you can see, this is what I'm doing. Okay, just left mouse click and I'm just moving this box. So we say, okay, that's where we want to start. Now, if we want to start the video, okay, I'm going to left mouse click on both of them. And then I'm going to hold down the cursor and I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to come up here to annotations. I'm double click here. This is where you can name it. Okay, you would put your church title in here. You would put your address in here. And as you can see, I'm just centering it is what I'm doing. Okay. And we'll go back to the beginning. We're going to zoom out on this. And here is that text. Okay. So here we can change how long we want it to show. So we're going to make it show for, let's say, 6 seconds. And what you can do is you can put your playhead here. You can get it right on these numbers and then adjust it out to that. That's the easiest thing to do. Okay. Now for the transitions, we're going to make this a circle stretch. And just watch what I'm doing, guys. It's real simple. Okay. You've got to play with your software. I tell people that I train all the time, if you don't play with it, you're not going to know how to use it. Now, I just highlighted them both, left mouse click, and drag them back over to where they belong. Okay. Go back to the beginning, and here we are. Now, on this circle stretch, I'm going to go ahead and just highlight it. I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to come up to the circle stretch, and now I want the transition from the name of the church, the address, to over into where the special music's going to start. Okay? So let's just listen to what that sounds like. Okay, here it is. Here's the name. Okay, so we like that. So now let's go on back down. We're going to shrink it up a little bit. We're going to come over here to where the preaching's starting. Okay. And we want to come to the very end of where we're zoomed in. We can zoom out a little bit just to save a little bit of time. And what I'm doing when I start this, guys, I'm just hitting the space bar. Okay, so at this point now, we're going to come back to animations, and we're going to simply set scale to fit. Okay, so now we're back to the pastor. So we can do the same thing. I'm simply going to come to the top here. I'm going to pull this down a little bit. Now, guys, you have to remember, it's always better to have your zoom built into your camera than to do it through software. Okay? It's just the way that it is. You zoom in so far, it's going to make your video very grainy, and it's going to look very unprofessional. So we come down here, and let's say we want this transition to be a little bit longer, and I'm going to show you what I mean here. Just watch the transition. Okay, that goes real fast. All right. So we can come at the either end, and we're going to drag this out now. And we're going to make it probably around 4 seconds is what I like to do. Shorten that up a little bit. Somewhere around there. Okay. Now we'll just run it back out. Now, at this point, and here again, guys, this is a personal preference thing. You may want it fast. You may want it to do something different, okay? So we'll just hit, okay, and there we are. So now what we can do is we can come to the end of the file and make sure that we're still centered on the pastor. And let's just play this out. Okay, so now that this bottom one, simply left mouse click, highlight it, come over here and grab it, and just line it right back up. Okay, now we can come up to the transitions. We can use any of these, and it'll show you what they do, guys. So however you want your video to end. A lot of times, on videos, you just fade them out. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so at this point, you could come up here and you could put another ending on it if you wanted to write something. Visit us this coming Sunday. Check us out on Facebook. Yada, 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 yada. Okay, again, it is truly just that simple. And then when you get finished, you're going to come up to File, or I apologize, I'm thinking about Reaper. You're going to come over and hit Share, Local File. You're going to drop this menu down, and you're going to have it play MP4 only up to 18 or 1080 PI. Okay, and you're going to hit Next, and then this is where you're going to name it. This is where the video is going to wind up, and you hit Finish. And that's what it does. As you can see, it's already started the video. And when it gets finished, that's what you have. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cancel this so I can go ahead and rework this video. And that's it for this. All right, take care, God bless, and we are out of here.